It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
We attended her first meeting that she led, the Thornton Township Board, and we reported on that.
At that first board meeting, you were there, you wrote the story out of it. One thing, there's just some quotes that, given what has happened in the last 2.5 years, that really stand out from early on. So I want to read one of those quotes. This is Supervisor Henyard. I pledge to the residents of Thornton Township, the elected officials, the Board of Trustees, and the entire staff that we will work hard and have an honest and responsible fiscal year. I will always keep the people first. I was known as the People's Trustee, now I'm the People's Mayor, and even now I am the People's Supervisor. So thank you again. So we fast forward to the second.
She sound like The Rock, the People's Champ. Girl, listen. You ain't got people champ. See, you got to be the villain, and then you got to turn around and be the hero. So she trying to be the villain, because remember, The Rock was the villain when he was with the Nation of Domination. Then when he left the Muslim group and turned into The Rock, you know, he became the superstar. That's what Tiffany Henyard wants. That ain't gonna happen.
With Supervisor Henyard as the Township Supervisor, and the notable thing about that meeting, among a few other things, that
What's
she
up, Sarah?
hired two people.
What's up, everybody? Shout out to everybody
Human
pulling up.
Resources Department, and one was Stephanie.
Well, here you go.
Jessica Jones, in the Human Resources Department, and the other was Stephanie Wiedemann, who was the former executive assistant to Frank Zuccarelli. Stephanie had been part of.
Okay, so what they telling you is about the woman Stephanie. Stephanie is the one taking all the meetings with everybody who got fired, and Stephanie, Stephanie, she a whistleblower. Another white. You don't want to piss off the whites, okay? Because then they start to ask too mmany questions. Tiffany didn't want nobody asking no questions. When she was telling everybody, hey, we don't worry about this, don't worry about that. People like, nah. It need to be kind of open for them. We need to know what's going on. Tiffany was like, nah, I got this. Yo, chill out. Let me do my thing. Okay, now when somebody says that, you kind of hold back. You be like, all right, let me watch and see what happens. But no, when Tiffany does that, she cuts out everybody. Fire your black ass or white ass.
Township for a very, very long time, and was seen, according to Stephanie, was seen by Tiffany Henyard as a critic, as asking too many questions.
That's too many
a lot of
questions.
confusion and uncertainty about, why are we fired? The communication was unclear. So early on, there were already some red flags.
That was at meeting number 2 that Supervisor Henyard led.
Right.
Yeah, so the Lansing Journal continued showing up. We went to the annual meeting that year of Thornton Township. We reported on that. We went to township board meetings, reported on the bills that were being discussed, financial decisions that were being made. Just trying to be present, just trying to observe and report.
Right. There was one particular issue with the previous administration had gone to this place called Eaglewood Resort and Spa and had a large bill for that occasion, and we can't speak to that at all.
They did there.
But it is worth noting that the trustees brought that up. Supervisor Henyard spoke out against that choice for the staff to spend taxpayer dollars, and we quote it.
Now, why do you think that they can't speak on that situation where they went to a spa and getaway and used taxpayer dollars? Why don't you think they won't speak on that? Because they was friendly to the whites. If you friendly to what's up, Tiffany? That's my girl. If you friendly to the whites, listen, they gon' overlook the BS that you be doing if you be friendly to them. But what Tiffany do? Nah. Keep them out of my business. Shout out to Texas, man. Shout out to Texas. But Boomer Sooner, big dog.
I want to read that right now, which in hindsight is an interesting quote from Supervisor Henyard. She said, I'm totally for a retreat, but I'm not for using taxpayer dollars to do personal things such as spas. Some members here use the money to do spas for their employees. We do not know anything about anyone using taxpayer dollars for spas. That's a big no-no, a big red flag, and that will not be condoned under my watch as your supervisor. So she's on the record.
Ooh, y'all hear that? Y'all heard Tiffany? She lied to y'all in y'all face when she broke that down. See, that's what people need to bring up. This is what you said about the Thornton Township. You're not gonna be using taxpayers' dollars to be doing all this everything. Okay, but what I'm telling you is, what is she doing to Dalton? Funneling y'all's tax dollars like a damn, like when you let the water out the tub and all the water just shoot. That's where y'all tax dollars is going down the drain, okay?
Pretty explicitly calling out the fact that we're not going to be using taxpayer dollars for any sort of personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yep.
Good to know.
Yeah, so then we shared a few stories just about sort of ordinary township business. We wanted to cover the township in the same way that we cover our village, show the meetings and just
All right. This is where it gets interesting. Listen to the white guilt. They're like, look, we just wanted to cover all the township. We didn't want to cover the negativity. Guess what? As a journalist, nobody watched any of their stuff prior to Tiffany Henyard. So when they was like, oh, okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the good stuff. Nobody watched it. But when Tiffany got in office and they wrote a column about her, everybody watching it, everybody reading it, everybody, well, what's next? What she do now? Remember, check out, then people starting to hit the Lansing Journal up. Hey, she's doing this, she's doing that. Trust me, because they do that to me. They hit you up when you touch on this chick, people will reach out to you and be like, hey, here's the dirt on her. And I'm like, damn, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. But I'm telling you, so this is what's happening. So when they're like, oh, you know what? We're just going to keep doing our normal format. We're going to go, if there's a new baby at the zoo, new panda being born at the zoo, we're going to talk about that. But if there's a Easter egg hunt, you know what I'm saying? Not Tiffany Henyard's one, because she kick kids out of that one. But if there's something good going on in the community, we're going to go at that. But what happened was Tiffany started to be a hot streak for their columns. So they had to write about her. So when they started writing stuff about it, everything turned out to be negative. So that's when Tiffany was like, oh no, y'all keep writing negative stuff about me. And that's where Tiffany messed up, because she turned on the whites. And the whites was just trying to see what was going on. But once you kick them out of them,
what happens. So several of our stories over the next few weeks were pretty ordinary.
Yeah.
Days in the park.
Yeah.
So here you go.
We let people know when upcoming events were happening.
Right.
Quentin Arthur was our reporter at that time. He was going to the Thornton Township meetings and just letting people know what decisions were being made and what events were being planned.
That's right.
Yep.
So we were not always there. Sometimes there was drama happening, and sometimes there was not. And we were there either way. Because we wanted to be there to report on it. So.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.